This is not the best episode, so trigger warning. This is not the best episode to listen to with kiddos. So maybe pop on down to another little episode.
Listen to the one about the Rougarou or the one or one of mine.
You've literally covered axe murderers and
everybody says your episodes are their favorite, and I need a little love.
Okay, go listen to one of Katie's.
Thanks.
She's depressed. Okay, this is the Big Bad Boot.
We're siblings who explore spooky and scary stories, urban legends, tall tales, and true crime, all located in this crazy state that's shaped like a boot. A podcast about the weird state you wish you were from.
Hosted by the weird siblings you wish you had.
Do you like my folder? I got this from the dollar store. It was a pack of 3.
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Isn't it cool? They would never be standing together because they're from two completely different time periods.
One of them is my favorite. One of my favorites.
Pocahontas?
Yes.
Yeah. You loved that movie when you were little.
I love Pocahontas and I love Tiana.
And you love Mulan.
I do love Mulan. I don't have a white princess.
Good.
That I like.
Good. I mean,
Is that bad?
no.
Okay. Never thought about that.
I like Disney princesses, don't get me wrong, but
Tiana's the best because that girl worked.
that girl works. She can cook.
Oh, yeah.
She's friends with amphibians.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like villains the best.
Hades is my favorite.
Hades, Ursula.
Because Hades was funny. Also, fun fact, Ursula was modeled after a drag queen.
Yep. Was it Divine?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The one that was obsessed with boiled eggs and kind of looked scary.
I've talked to you about this before, but I don't think a lot of Disney villains were actually villains.
No.
And I have some TikTok videos where I go on full crash out rants about this. Ursula, here's a good example. I don't think she was a villain. I think she was just a good businesswoman, and Ariel broke a contract. That's it. Ariel didn't understand contractual law.
That's true.
And also, she signed a law without an adult present because we know she wasn't 18.
That's true.
So I think Ursula was just a misunderstood.
Misunderstood.
She's a girl boss. She's like,
Ursula.
She's like, it ain't my fault you don't read the fine print.
Sorry, you're an idiot.
It's a hot take.
Right.
I want to see what the world thinks about that.
Yeah.
Right.
It's all on my TikToks. I have some villain rants. I have one about Captain Hook, where I don't think he was the problem. I think Peter Pan was the problem.
Okay.
Peter Pan is the one kidnapping kids out their windows at night.
You're so right.
Why?
He's lonely.
No, Mallory. No, girl.
And
also, hi again, Mallory.
Hi, Mal.
Hey, I'll be here for a couple minutes. Then Jonah's coming.
Who
Just
else?
sneak in.
Captain Hook, Ursula, Gaston. Oh, I'm very passionate about that.
I did not like Gaston.
No. Belle's stupid because
Gaston is nothing but full of
No.
toxic masculinity.
This is France in the 1700s, babe. Half of the men don't make it past 20 years old. You need somebody that's going to provide for you. Gaston didn't like anybody but her. He was all about Belle. He's good looking. He can provide, and he was going to give her a house and everything. He just wanted to take her on a date.
He was going to cheat on her. I could feel it.
But she's going to survive.
At the age of 7, I was sipping my tea, and I was like, don't do it.
So she's going to go fall in love with a literal animal and have Stockholm
He had
syndrome?
a library and a castle.
I just...
Check boxes 1 and 2. That is perfectly fine. And Gaston is the one that... Didn't he throw the dad in a dungeon? No, that was the Beast.
Yeah, the Beast threw her dad in a dungeon.
No.
He was holding her hostage. And she fell in love with the person that was holding her hostage.
I don't know.
Gaston,
a high credit score and TSA pre-check.
Gaston probably would have had the equivalent of those back in the day.
I would have let him put you in a dungeon for a little bit.
The Beast or Gaston?
Either.
I would have went with Gaston. I'd been like, oh, yep, sign me up. I like the way your face is configured. And I like your pectoral muscles. And you're going to make sure I don't die of dysentery.
He just looked like someone I would not be friends with.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. I mean,
no.
If she would have married him, she would have had all the time in the world to read her books. Because that's really all she wanted. He'd have been gone hunting all the time.
She got that with the Beast.
After she had trauma.
Who doesn't? It made me funny. I'm full of trauma.
Welcome to the Big Bad Boot.
Hey, guys.
This is a podcast not about Disney villains or Disney at all, really. It's a podcast about Louisiana folklore, true crime, spooky stories, Popeye's chicken, Caleb as a degenerate. You like our new shirts?
I want Popeyes. It's me twerking in college.
These are our new shirts on our merch site. They say Caleb is a degenerate.
All my coworkers, shout out Stone Insurance, everyone was like, we're all buying them and we're going to wear them collectively one day and you're not going to know until you get to work.
And it's very soft. It's a comfort colors. I love these bright blues we got going on.
I know. I like yours a lot. And yours is less wrinkled.
Yeah, because I'm not you guessed it.
Degenerate.
There we go.
I took mine out of the package and just shoved it on and was like, here we go.
Thanks, Romano promo. Yeah. Hi, Mallory.
Hi.
Our producer, Mallory, is back.
My yay in our group message was real. When Jonah was like, I'll be here for the second half, I was like, oh, Mallory, yay.
Yay.
I know. We need to, I need to show up more.
I mean, it's okay.
You're girl bossing.
Oh, can I make...
cycling. What?
What did you say?
We need to go cycling?
No, I'm saying like me and Jonah need to like cycle out.
Oh, I was about to say I will not be
we were both
cycling.
Like, no.
Y'all want to go bike riding?
I do have a request though. Can you bring your dog?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
Cosmo would love it.
Because that's the kind of dog I want.
You'll love him.
Okay.
What's his name?
He's precious. Cosmo.
Cosmo. Like Cosmo from the Fairly Odd Parents?
Yeah, like Cosmo and Wanda?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I really want to get a girl and have her name be Wanda.
Oh.
That's so cute.
Because that would be so cute.
I love that.
Yeah, I'll bring Kazu.
Please do. That would make my day. That is the exact type of dog that I want. A little long-haired weenie dog.
Oh. Precious.
So cute. All right. We got some emails. You want to read yours first or mine?
I'll go.
Okay. Listener emails.
Hey, y'all. My name is Danielle Strickland Todd. Oh, Danielle. Whoa. We went to high school together. Long time no see. Caleb, I used to know you through Kaylee Myers. I'm pretty sure we dropped off after cross-country practice. Oh, yeah, they used to drop me off all the time. Aww. Thanks. Shout out Punchy High, roll waves. Anywho, I'm loving the podcast so much. Y'all are hysterical. Thanks, boo.
Thanks.
Listening to the episodes made me realize I have a topic you guys might like to cover. Ooh. Mm-hmm. I used to work weddings at Cedar Grove Chapatulas Plantation, and the lady that worked there told me about Norma Wallace, who used to own the plantation in 1964.
Hold on. Norma or normal?
Norma.
Okay. It sounded like you said normal. I'm like, somebody's named Normal, normal?
No, but add that to the names list. That's kind of cool. I believe, and she ran a brothel out of it for a short time.
Cool.
Okay, I'm hooked. Her main place of business was 1026 Conti Street. Oh,
Conti.
No, it's Conti.
Is it Conti or Conti?
It's Conti.
I thought it was Conti.
It's Conti Street.
Is it?
Yes.
I think it's Conti.
I do a lot of business in New Orleans where that is in the business name. And I'm like, Conti.
I'm pretty sure it's Conti.
It's definitely Conti.
Oh, man. Sorry, Robert. Anywho.
Let us know in the comments. We both could be wrong.
It's true.
I don't know.
Okay, wait. Her main place of business was 1026 Conti Street in New Orleans. It had all these cool hideout places and secret money drop compartments that I think are still there today.
Hidey holes.
Oh. That's lit.
That is my dream. I thought when we bought our house that we would like happen upon.
You have a laundry chute. That's pretty cool.
But no hidden money in there. Like I wanted like something to be in the attic or like, but there was nothing.
Hey, your home was built in the 2000s.
So?
What? No. This woman was a badass and had all the politicians and important businessmen in her back pocket. That's what I call a businesswoman.
That's cool.
Girl bossing. There's a book called The Last Madam by Christine Wiltz that is phenomenal. There's a few podcasts about her, but I haven't listened to them. So if they're bad, don't come for me. LOL. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Danielle.
Honestly, I might do that for the next episode.
And thanks for all those rides you gave me to cross country. I would have been much fatter if it wasn't for her during high school because I wouldn't have ran so much.
It still blows my mind that you ran cross country. Not that you weren't good at it, but it's just.
I couldn't. And I remember vividly one time telling one of my friends, like, if I ever get to where I can't run 5 miles without stopping, shoot me in the head.
Joke's on you.
I can't run a mile right now. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Coach Howells, turn the podcast off. Don't listen. But man, like we would run like 7 to 10 miles a day. Like just cooling.
No.
That's sad.
Did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I don't think I would have liked it if I didn't have the coach I have.
Yeah.
Ponchatoula High School got some good coaches.
Yeah.
And Coach Howells, if you're listening, I love you so much. Oh, I still text that woman on her birthday, Veterans Day, because she's a veteran.
Oh, I was
she's
like, why?
a badass. Okay. I'm obsessed with her still.
Are you tired of the traditional, painful, and expensive options for hair removal? Say hello to Mimi's Laser Alternatives. They offer cutting-edge, non-invasive treatments that leave you with silky smooth skin without the pain or hassle of lasers. Whether you're looking to remove unwanted hair, treat stubborn skin issues, or just pamper yourself, Mimi's has a range of effective, safe, and comfortable options that work for every skin type. No more downtime, no more irritation, just results that you'll love. And the best part? There's no lasers. Mimi's Laser Alternatives is all about making beauty treatments accessible, easy, and most importantly, comfortable. Visit Mimi's Laser Alternatives in Harahan, Louisiana, or book an appointment online at laseralternatives.com. And I know Mimi Fallow personally, and she is quite literally the sweetest person you've ever met.
Bless her.
So that is somebody that I think I would want removing unwanted and unsightly hair from my body because she would not make me feel bad about it. Get ready to experience the future of skincare today. Mimi's Laser Alternatives, smooth skin with no strings attached. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Batter. Sweeten your day with Batter, a bakery. With 2 shops located in downtown Hammond, Louisiana, and the Central Business District of New Orleans, they're your local sweet spot for custom cakes, specialty coffee, and all your favorite homemade treats. From melt-in-your-mouth pedophores. Can I tell them what you used to call pedophores when you were little, Caleb?
Sure.
One time we were at, I want to say Easter or something, and Caleb was really little, and he said, "Mom, can I have another pedophile, please?" And we're all like, "What?" And he's like, "The little cakes, the pedophiles." Were like, "Oh, dear God, pedophores." So no pedophiles here, just pedophores. From melt-in-your-mouth pedophores to freshly baked cookies and my personal favorite, their homemade Pop-Tarts, they've got something for every sweet tooth. Support small business by eating local sweet treats. And if you're craving a sweet delivery, they ship their cookies nationwide. Use our special code BIGBADBOOT for 15% off your cookie shipping order. Thank you to our friends at Batter. We love you. Well, there's still time.
There is.
Just start small.
Maybe she'll listen to this and text me and be like, "Here's a running plan, you fat idiot."
Yep.
And be like, "Thank you."
This time next year, we'll get you up to 2-mile runs a day. You could do that if you worked up to it.
I think, and I apologize now, I'm a little sick, but I think if my life depended on it, I could strike out and run. Like, not that long ago, I threw on like some running shoes and ran in the backyard, like where I used to practice and stuff. And I ran like 3/4 of a mile. And then I was like, but I don't have any endurance anymore because I went from an endurance sport to tennis, which is just like
quick,
pew, pew, all the time.
You need some oxygen.
I do.
Are you okay?
I'm sweating now.
I feel like
I'm sick.
Or do you have?
I've like SpongeBob in that episode where he has the suds.
What's the suds?
It was like the flu, but SpongeBob got it.
Oh no!
So when he sneezed, bubbles went.
The sud. Oh, I get it.
God.
That's funny. SpongeBob I enjoy, but I passed it up. Like I was.
Oh, I still watch SpongeBob if it's on.
A lot of people do.
I love SpongeBob. I
All right.
identify hardcore with Patrick Star.
It's Patrick. Isn't that what he said? It's not. What?
Is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick.
Thank you.
I love him.
All right, here's my email. You'll like this one. Kati and Caleb, which bonus points because Kati is spelled correctly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your podcast. My family and I recently moved down here from Montana. We have lived in Colorado, Missouri, Wisconsin, Montana, and now Louisiana in the last 12 years. And Louisiana definitely has the most interesting history of them all.
That we do.
She said, parentheses, we aren't military, just crazy.
Oh, okay. I was literally about to be like, my best friend was a military brat too.
No, she said, we aren't military, just crazy.
Oh, cool.
We live in Ponchatoula, and my daughter goes to Champ Cooper. Guess what?
Our mom taught there for 37 years.
Our mom is one of the OGs of Champ Cooper.
Yep.
Very beloved, Miss Abby.
Me and Katie were both Cougars.
And she says, I agree that Berrytown has the best king cake.
Work. Thank you.
I love history and spooky stories, and listening to your podcast has taught me so much already, and I anxiously await every episode. When I heard you sneak in a Parks and Rec reference, I knew I had found my people.
Yep.
My favorite episodes so far were Huey P. Long and Carlos Marcello.
Oh!
Parentheses, sorry, Katie, yours are good too.
Oh.
Whatever. And I don't have any suggestions for future shows as I'm still learning about the state. Again, thank you and keep on keeping on. P.S. If you ever want to meet up for some margaritas, the first round is on me, Jenny.
Jenny,
listen, Jenny,
you live in Ponchatoula, and do you know where I like to drink margaritas?
You told us where you live.
Lacaretta, Ponchatoula. So
we were actually just there a few days ago planning our parade route for the Strawberry Festival parade because we're going to be in the Strawberry Festival parade.
Yes. And we met one of our fans when we were walking back to our car.
Yep.
I forgot her name. I'm not good with names, but she was very, very sweet.
Very nice.
Very sweet.
Well, thank you, Jenny.
And also in that email, I said me and Katie were both Cougars. That's Champ Cooper's mascot. We're not actual
correct.
Cougars.
Yeah, we're not. My husband's older than me, so I would be the opposite. What's the opposite of a cougar? Is it a gold digger?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
If he's rich.
And then
we're rich
if they're
in
not
love.
rich, then they're not a gold digger. They're just stupid.
We're rich in love.
There it is.
There we go.
I'm not. I'm not rich in any aspect.
Same.
You're rich in notes.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb has literally 12 pages of handwritten notes.
14.
All right.
Of handwritten notes.
Nice. Are you ready? I feel like this is like unprecedented for you.
I am. I'm hoping that I don't ramble too much, and I'm hoping that there's not a point where I can't read my own handwriting. But I think it's all going to work out. Besides the suds.
Yeah, you've got the suds. All right. Let's do it.
Drum roll. This is about the Jennings or the Jefferson Davis Parish 8.
Nice.
Right? It's
this is a heavy hitter.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Okay, so let's just dive right into it. May 20th, 2005. Jerry Jackson, from what I gather, he's just like a fisherman, basically dad. Mm-hmm. Jerry Jackson finds what he thinks is a mannequin.
It's never a mannequin.
Well, okay. In his defense, he did see on the news recently that someone had robbed a store and stole a bunch of mannequins.
So he was like, oh, they just ditched them.
But then he was like, that's a lot of flies around it. So he ends up having to call the police because he finds the body of Loretta Chasson. And she had been there for about 3 days.
Oh, bless her heart.
So this is going to move like a little fast, and there's a lot of victims. So Loretta Chasson.
Oh, do you need to put a trigger warning?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I probably should. So the body was in the water for about 3 days. She was identified as Loretta Chasson. Her cause of death was determined as undetermined.
Sorry for laughing.
It's okay.
You could have just said her cause of death was undetermined.
I wrote determined as undetermined, so that's what I kept.
Okay.
From what I gathered, all of these women were either sex workers or in the drug world or both. Because what I kind of started piecing together, and it was actually credit to another podcast, Crime Junkie. Shout out her. Love her product.
Me too.
But Jennings actually has like a major drug problem. And I never thought about it this way, but it's like a very convenient pit stop directly in the middle of Houston and New Orleans.
Yep, it's on
I-10.
The corridor,
right?
the drug corridor.
Yeah. So like
KK used to tell us that all the time.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So our grandma, R.I.P., Carol K., coolest lady ever. She worked for the Tri-Parish Sheriff's Department in the narcotics division. So we got all the deets on people hooked on dope is what she would say.
Yeah, hooked on dope.
Hooked on dope. So
Loretta was last seen by her brother 3 days before the body was discovered. He saw her willingly get into the vehicle of a man named Frankie Richard.
Okay.
remember that name.
A lot of Cajun names already.
Yeah, Chasson, Richard. There's a bunch of them, but keep Frankie like in the back of your mind. Okay. Which I did a lot of research on this one, and by research I mean I listened to a podcast and then I watched a documentary about it. Mm-hmm. After the podcast, I was like, Frankie did it.
Okay.
Like 100%, Frankie did it. But after the documentary, I don't think he did.
Okay. I'm ready.
I don't know why. A lot of things point to him. But you know when you can just like vibe someone?
I really hope you don't become a detective because you'll be like, Your Honor, vibes.
The vibes were off.
The vibes were off.
He just... Now, would I like drink a beer with him? No. But like, do I think he murdered someone? No.
Okay.
Like, I think he knows something about it.
He might be involved, but you don't think maybe he didn't actually commit the crime.
Right.
Okay.
Jennings police and Jeff Davis Parish, which is Jefferson Davis Parish, but Jeff Davis Parish were known for being like super, super corrupt for probably like 30-ish years from what I could gather. Now in 2024, they recently elected a new sheriff and his like whole campaign was getting justice for these 8 women.
Cool.
So locals started calling the cops to ask if they should be scared because it was like, you know, something that didn't really happen in Jennings. Like, yeah, they had some drug problems, but like we just find the body of someone. It'd be like us finding a body in a canal behind the house.
Right.
You know? So the death wasn't officially a homicide, even though it very clearly was a homicide. Because like they did the autopsy or whatever and they found that she died of like
she didn't have like
drugs
wounds
in her system and she had alcohol in her system and blah 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 blah.
So
but
a defense attorney could logically argue like
she got high, drunk,
and walked into the water.
Right.
So there was no like wounds or blunt force trauma.
Not on Loretta.
Okay.
Which we're gonna get down into it. But it was very clearly a homicide when you pieced everything together. And the sheriff at the time was just like, no.
Or maybe when all these other bodies, which I assume because there's 8.
Yes.
Then once you look back, you're like, oh, well, maybe that first one.
Exactly.
Okay.
So about a month later, another woman's body is found in a canal about 5 miles away from where Loretta was found. She clearly had, so this is the new woman. The new woman clearly had several gashes in her throat. She's identified as Ernestine Patterson.
I love the name Ernestine.
Me too. Ernestine and Evangeline. I don't know why. I've always loved those both. But this is clearly a homicide.
Yes.
So this is where the people of Jennings start like really freaking out because the cops aren't really.
How close together were
much.
they? I'm sorry.
A month.
A month.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a pattern.
So some people come forward and tell the police that Ernestine was picked up and had sex with a man named Byron Chad Jones. Byron's friend, Lawrence Nixon, was also there. But later, Lawrence's wife tells police that the 2 men showed up to their house shortly after spending time with Ernestine with 2 giant garbage bags, obviously with something heavy in them and soaked in blood.
And this lady didn't think to say anything at the time.
Not at the time. It gets worse.
Okay.
So
I'm sorry, that was the wife of
one of
the guys that was with Ernestine.
Yes.
Got it.
Correct.
Okay.
Because there was Byron Chad Jones, and then there was Lawrence Nixon.
And this is Lawrence's wife.
Correct.
Got it.
So after that, the wife does finally come forward. And this is where like people really start to turn their back on the police in Jennings and in Jeff Davis Parish. Because you got to remember, there's the police department of Jennings.
Right.
And then there's the sheriff's office, which is ran by the parish.
Which I think a lot of people don't think about that a lot. Like, I have friends that don't understand the distinction between like Hammond PD and Tangipahoa Parish Sheriff's Office. Right. Which I think we know because our grandma worked for the sheriff's department. So we understand. Right. But like...
Because I still don't even know, like if I called 911, like who would show up at our house? Like Ponchatoula PD or the sheriff's department?
A location thing. Which, by the way, that's going to be my retirement job. I want to be a 911, like a dispatch
Oh, not
like a
me.
call center person.
Oh, not me.
We toured that as part of Leadership Tangi a few years ago, and I was like, yep, this is what I'm doing.
Oh, absolutely not. So, anywho. So, this is where the distrust for both of these agencies start really, like, taking off.
Okay.
So, the cops finally show up to test the porch because these bags sat on Lawrence's porch for 3 days before they did something with them.
And this was 3 days after the wife called and was like,
Correct.
Hey, I'm looking at these bags.
No.
No?
After they had already taken the bags away, blah, 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 disposed of them.
Got it.
The wife
Okay.
had like come to Jesus with herself apparently and was like, let me call the sheriff's department and the police department and blah, blah, blah. So they detain the men. Mm-hmm. They plead not guilty, whatever. Well, then 16 months after this is when the police department finally goes to the porch.
Why 16?
To test it.
Why? They were too busy?
And that was after the wife had said, well, I already have washed the porch 14 times.
Yeah, pressure wash the porch.
Right, which is something we all do down here all the time anyway. But they couldn't find anything. So since there was no evidence, they're released.
No body, no arrest.
So, Bernie reference. So things kind of stay relatively quiet in Jennings until 2007, 2 years after the first two
So we're
murders.
at 2.
Yes.
Okay.
2 women were found almost back to back. The first body found was Kristen Gary Lopez. She was found nearly nude in a canal just outside of Jennings in March. Now, this is March 2007.
Okay.
Then, after that, Whitney Dubois.
Dubois.
I never know what to say.
I know some people who pronounce both. Like, I know somebody who pronounces it Dubois and then Dubois. So I think it just depends on preference.
Let's say Dubois.
I like Dubois.
Okay, that makes it sound better. Whitney Dubois was found off of a remote road in May, which this is a little different because, like, in the documentary I watched, they started everything with Whitney's family because Whitney was found in the middle of the street, like a back road, like in the middle of the road.
Bless her heart.
Which that's when the citizens started saying, like, okay,
this is enough.
There's a serial killer.
Yeah.
He's getting like super like ballsy because he's just now like throwing these women.
I'm not even trying to hide it anymore.
Exactly. Which, side note, they actually ended up paving the road like immediately after, apparently. And I know the family's like super peeved about it.
That is kind of interesting.
And if you look at it, when I was watching the documentary, they turn off of 2 gravel roads and then randomly are just on this paved road. So it's just like random pavement
So it
in
wasn't,
the middle.
it wasn't like a city granted project or something.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I don't know because as the deeper we get, the more you're not going to really trust
Is this going to get us in trouble with the Jennings Police Department?
Nah.
I hope not.
They're better now. It's fine.
Okay.
So Kristen's cause of death was found to be drugs, intoxication, and asphyxia.
So strangled.
Right.
Or her breathing was cut off by something.
Correct. So that was her cause of death. Her manner of death, undetermined.
Okay.
Thank you.
I feel like I should know the difference.
I feel like the cause of death is what actually killed you. The manner of death is like the actions that were used in it.
I see what you're saying. So, and y'all correct us if we're wrong. So, like, cause of death is asphyxiation. Manner of death is somebody used a necktie.
Wait, I have a fact check.
Okay.
Thanks, Mal. I knew she was going to do
our fact check?
Yes, please.
God bless you.
Okay. Cause of death refers to the specific disease or injury that led to the result of death, while the manner of death is the classification. So accidental, natural, suicide, homicide.
Okay.
So it was a homicide is the manner of death. The cause of death would be
Got it.
whatever she
Okay,
was.
so cause of death is
Okay.
asphyxiation, but manner of death was we don't know.
Undetermined.
Got it. Thank you, Mal.
Good job.
Producing in real time.
Thank you.
That's why we pay them the big bucks.
When Whitney was found, so the last one I talked about, that's Kristen. That's the one that was found right before Whitney.
Okay.
When Whitney was found, her cause and manner of death were both listed as undetermined.
And Whitney was the one that was just in the road.
Yes.
Okay.
Kristen was also found like in a canal. So like nothing is adding up here.
Okay.
Like even during, because like you know how I get when I like deep dive into things. I'm like, I could be the one that solves this.
My new hyperfixation.
Exactly.
That's both of us.
Yeah. So I'm like really trying to dig into it. And nothing's happening. I'm hopelessly confused, even today. So after these victims, serial killer rumors start up again. Because you have to remember, these two were in 2007. The first was in 2005.
Okay. And we're at 4.
We're at 4. The police told everyone that there was no linking in these deaths that were related to each other.
Even though we've found 4 women who were all rumored to have been in the same arena.
Not even the same arena. Most of these women knew and hung out with each other.
That's really upsetting. So it would
be like me dying, then you dying, then like Mallory, then Leslie.
Yeah.
Like it's just like people that were in the same circles.
Do you think that it's a what am I trying to say? Like what is the word I'm looking for? Like they are not taking this seriously because of the stigma around sex workers?
That was a theory.
Because my thing, and we hear this all the time, like a lot of investigators use the term, they live a high risk lifestyle, which really frustrates me.
Yes, because they're still people.
And some people don't have a choice.
Right.
Like some people can't control the circumstances into which they were born. And there's a lot of sex workers that make a lot of good money. And I think a lot of people that maybe because they were sex workers are like, oh, well, they asked for it.
Exactly.
Or whatever. And it's like, really?
Which I'm not going to say I thought that. I thought that would be the attitude of some people. You know what I mean? But that theory kind of gets debunked a little bit later.
Okay.
Once we get into more of like pretty obvious corruption, I think gets debunked. So, important little side note, one of the last people to see Kristen alive, Frankie Richard, who was also the last person to see Loretta.
The first lady.
Exactly.
All right, Frankie. I'm watching Frankie. How old is Frankie? At this time, we don't know.
I would say like 40s.
Okay.
So Frankie actually passed.
Okay.
From cancer. Last person to see Whitney.
Frankie.
Son of a gun. They were arguing outside of his home.
Okay.
Okay, so do you get why I was like, it's Frankie?
But if it's not Frankie, like he's the unluckiest sack of crap you've ever seen in your life. Yeah. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
Yes.
You know the theory of Occam's razor? Have you ever heard of that?
Do I look like I've ever heard of that theory? No.
Like that theory is usually the simplest solution is probably the correct one.
It's like the opposite of what the person who did the murdering is usually the person you most expect, not the person you least expect.
Correct. What does Dwight say? It's the person you medium suspect.
Yes, you medium suspect.
It's usually the simplest solution is the right solution.
I like that.
Occam's razor. You're welcome. It's because I read books and Caleb doesn't read books.
I don't. I'm struggling to read my own notes right now.
He really is struggling.
Okay, so you have 4 women from the same community, like the same actual community, then in the same like social realm.
And the same man knew 3 of the 4.
Yes.
And was seen with 3 of the 4.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're all dead. They were all disposed of in the same way. Mm-hmm. And people at this point are really hammering on the sheriff at the time. His name was Ricky Edwards, because he refused to call it the work of a serial killer. He even in an interview said, we don't have a serial killer, we have a serial dumper. And the news reporter was like, what is a serial dumper? And he was like, well, it's terminology we're making up.
So they're like, oh, I just happened to find these bodies and I'm dumping them?
Right, or they died because of an overdose with the same type of people, so they just like, dispose of them the same way. And I'm like, no.
That makes me very, very angry. Keep going.
So that also makes it
This is terrible. Keep going.
That also makes it really hard to charge anybody with anything because you're not really listing any of these things as homicide.
No, you're not. There's nothing to charge anybody with.
No. So according to the sheriff, they cannot be a serial killer because 3 of the 4 women's deaths were classified as undetermined.
The manner of death. Thanks, Mallory. Now we know the difference.
According to the FBI, this is where I kind of start getting into a little bit of their corruption. Mm-hmm. According to the FBI, the Jefferson Davis Parish Sheriff's Department's clearance rate for solving homicides. Okay, before I say it, what do y'all think it is? It's a percent.
Like a percent, like per year?
Yeah.
8%. Is
close,
that right?
Really close.
Is it Price is Right correct? Am I under it?
You're over.
Dang. I would have lost the Showcase Showdown.
Almost 7%.
Okay.
And like in my head, and I think it's because I love like true crime stuff and like unsolved mysteries and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, how high is the normal one? The nation's clearance rate is over 60.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, but that's a pretty big jump from like 6.7%.
Yeah, it's almost none.
Exactly. So, May 16th, 2007, the police announced that they have charged 2 people for Kristen's murder. They charged Frankie Richard with second-degree murder.
So, it was an accident? Or they're saying second degree
degree means it wasn't premeditated.
It was just active, like spur of the moment.
I think. Because I'm pretty sure what makes something first degree
is premeditation. Because manslaughter is accidental. Like
Correct.
if somebody ran out in the road and you hit them with your car, that's manslaughter.
That would be vehicular.
No,
homicide.
vehicular homicide is I ran you over on purpose.
I didn't go to school for law.
Sorry, don't come at us. We didn't.
No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think manslaughter it's a complete accident.
But you can still get in trouble.
Correct.
Even if it's an accident. Depends on like if you were drunk and like that.
Yes.
It's different. Yeah.
Okay. So the second person they charge is, let's see, Frankie's niece, Hannah, which this really threw me off after watching the documentary because Hannah and Kristen were raised as sisters. And like you could tell Hannah like had cleaned her life up ever since this happened. And, like, you can tell that was actually her best friend. Mm-hmm. Like, I was shocked.
Why did they arrest her? How was she involved?
So, I'm going off script here, actually, because I just have it memorized a little bit. But Kristen's girlfriend at the time, Tracy, apparently told the cops they were all her. So, Kristen, Hannah, and Frankie and Tracy were all like getting high together, yada, yada, yada. Well, apparently, Kristen and Frankie get into a fight. He ends up like beating her. Tracy freaks out. And then they pull over at this canal where she was found. And Frankie forces his niece Hannah to hold Kristen under the water until she dies. That's pretty much proven that didn't happen because I think it was something like 5 days later, Tracy goes back to the sheriff's department and walks back everything she said. And she told the sheriff's department that she was basically coerced.
By Frankie, probably.
No, by the police department to give some type of something. Because she was like, I just lied to get y'all off my back.
That happens a lot.
It does.
They're like, I am hungry. I'm tired. I've been here for 36 hours. I'll say whatever you need me to say to get out of here.
Exactly. So the charges get dropped from Frankie and Hannah.
Okay.
Even though.
Because she recants.
Okay. But like, even though, which I guess there's no proof. But like, as a normal person at this point, I'm like, okay, this man, Frankie Richard, has been seen with all these women. Like the last time they were alive, they were seen with this man.
Now he's the luckiest person. Because it's like, if you're getting away with all this.
I guess. And in every scene they interview him in, he is literally chewing cigarettes. I mean, like, going through it.
Didn't he die of cancer?
Man, yeah, I don't know what kind of cancer, but
Probably lung.
Probably. It had to be something. So, later, a sergeant from the Jennings Police Department, so that's a different agency than the Parish Sheriff's Department, took statements from 2 ladies in jail. They stated that one of the sheriff's lead investigators assigned to the murders may have gotten rid of evidence on behalf of Frankie Richard.
Why?
The investigator bought a truck that Kristen was in before and after the murder.
From Frankie?
From Frankie. Washed it, detailed it, and sold it. Which, and there's proof of these transactions.
Okay.
So, like, that's not a question whether that happened or not.
What is a person working for the sheriff's department doing of being affiliated with somebody who's wanted for murder in any capacity?
Apparently, Frankie was friends with a lot of important people.
Okay.
Like, he was, like, either loved or feared.
He's probably...
But he normally got his way.
Never mind. I'm probably going to... Allegedly, what if he was supplying all these people with drugs and sex workers on the slick? Like, he was their plug.
I'm not going to say it.
Allegedly.
Because I don't want to get in trouble with any of these agencies.
This is for entertainment. This is entertainment purposes only.
Man, Crime Junkie girl popped off.
Uh-huh.
She didn't care. Man, these suds. Which, okay, there is proof of these transactions. But is that illegal? Is that buying a truck from someone?
I think it's inappropriate.
And then just flipping it? That's not really... Is it unethical?
It's unethical.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Is it illegal?
Yeah. Stop covering your mouth with your fingers.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Anyway, the investigator is forced to appear in front of an ethics board. He's taken off the case, fined $10,000. So that seems to be like a step in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, okay, pop off, Jennings. Looking for a place where good food, great vibes, and Southern charm all come together? Then you've got to check out Paul's Cafe in Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Whether you're craving a classic po' boy, a hot bowl of gumbo, or just some of the best breakfast around, Paul's Cafe has you covered. And there's something special. And here's something special. Paul's Cafe is also the home of the official daiquiri of the Ponchatoula Strawberry Festival. Yep, you heard that right. Locally owned and loved by the community since the 1970s, it's the perfect spot to grab a bite, sip on that famous daiquiri, and enjoy the friendly atmosphere. So next time you're in Ponchatoula, make sure to stop by Paul's Cafe, where the food's always delicious and the hospitality is legendary. You won't regret it. All right, folks, we all know a logo can make or break your business. So if your branding looks like it was designed by Microsoft Paint, it's time to call Aubrey Carrier with AWC Graphics. She doesn't just design, she makes your business shine. We're talking fonts, colors, logos, merch designs, social media graphics, basically everything you need to make your business stand out and reach your target audience. So stop staring at those old graphics and give your brand the glow up it deserves. Visit AWC Graphics on Instagram or awcgraphicdesign.com and let her work some magic for your brand. So the man that just got fined, taken off of a case, and appeared in front of an ethics board, he comes back to work, and y'all like throw him as
reward
like
him.
Head poobah in charge of all evidence ever,
right?
Of anything.
Yeah,
like
I would love to have that job.
That would be cool. Mm-hmm. That would be so cool.
Yeah,
like, ugh.
So here's my theory for entertainment purposes only.
Hit me with it.
What if Frankie gets into a pickle and he calls this person, who's the person that bought his truck? You don't have a name, just somebody in the sheriff's department?
One of the lead investigators. That's all
And he's got something on this guy.
Okay.
Like, he must have something on this guy that works for the sheriff's department. And he's like, look, get rid of this truck. I don't care how you do it. Make it look legit and get rid of it. Because why else would that happen? Like, that guy could buy a truck from anywhere. Like, he's not putting this on Facebook Marketplace and, like, happening to come upon this truck.
Like, he can go down to, like, the Ross Downing and grab something.
You can go get a truck from anywhere. Why that truck?
Yeah, go to Price LeBlanc. Like, what are you doing?
So that's my thing is, and when it happened, like, he just so happened to be selling the truck now.
Yeah.
That's, for entertainment purposes only, a theory.
Yes, correct. So, jump forward.
Mm-hmm.
May 29th, 2008. The body of 23-year-old Laconia Brown, she goes by the nickname Muggy.
Cool.
Her body is found by a police officer. She's found fully clothed in the road and has 7 cuts to the front of her throat and several cuts behind her right ear. It also seemed that her body had been completely bleached to try to destroy any physical evidence. Muggy also was a sex worker and ran in the same circles as the other victims. And Muggy was actually brought in for questioning for Loretta's death because they were really good friends.
I knew you were going to say that at some point because I'm like, some of these women had to have been overlapped in like interviews.
Oh, yeah.
And she was found by a sheriff's deputy or a police officer.
Police officer.
Okay.
So I'm guessing when they say police officer, that means
maybe he was
Jennings
just,
police.
He was just patrolling or...
Right.
Okay.
Because like police is the city.
Right.
Sheriff's department is the parish.
Correct.
So not shockingly, Frankie Richard was seen with her before her death.
Come on,
and
Frank.
is like the locals' main suspect. Muggy's family is contacted by the coroner a little after the death. And the coroner tells them, look into the police department and the sheriff's department because something is not right. And I feel very unsafe telling you this, but start looking into the police department.
Who is this coroner?
I don't know.
Did they leave and get out of Dodge?
No, the coroner actually passed away from cancer. A lot of people have cancer.
Oh,
in this.
no.
I know. So September 2008, a group of hunters, so that's Muggy.
Mm-hmm.
September 11th, 2008, a group of hunters find a body in the woods. The remains were unclothed and nearly skeletal. This death was ruled as a homicide. The victim is ID'd via DNA as a 24-year-old named Crystal Shea Bonet Zeno.
Mm-hmm.
So she had actually been missing for several weeks. And like, it seems like, according to her family, that wasn't really super uncommon for her to just like go on a little bit of benders here and there. But she had been missing for a while. While they were waiting for DNA to come back, another Jennings girl goes missing. The missing person is a 17-year-old named Brittany Gary. She is the cousin of victim number 3, Kristen Lopez. A few weeks later, Brittany's body is found nude in some tall grass about 10 feet off of a rural road. The cause of death is asphyxia.
So that person just literally threw her out of a car.
Like, yeah.
That's
just like, you
upsets me so
yeah.
bad.
Let's see. I keep losing my place.
How many more pages of notes you got? Lord have mercy.
Like 3 1/4.
Okay.
So like 1 normal page. Brittany also ran in the same circles as the other victims and was very close friends with Frankie Richard.
Y'all get away from Frankie.
I know. And like there was no mention of her being seen in close proximity with Frankie during the time of like when she would have been killed or right before she went missing or blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But she ran in the same circles as everybody. And she was close friends with Frankie.
Was Frankie a drug dealer? Like a known... He had to have been...
In one of his interviews, they said, are you a crack addict? And he said, am I hooked on crack? No. Have I smoked it for 20 years? Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I was like, baby, that's an addict.
I can quit anytime I want to.
Oh, my Lord.
Bless it. I don't think I could afford a crack addiction. I can't even afford eggs.
I know I could. I'm dreading having to put gas in my car on the way home.
I'm having to decide between eating or putting gas in my car.
Oh, my God.
Same.
So Brittany was last seen alive with a man named Danny, That's Deputy Danny from the Jennings Police Department. And apparently, from what I gathered, not like a squeaky clean guy. So Deputy Danny was known around for like picking up sex workers all the time.
Okay. I mean, if he's doing it off the clock, that's an adult's business. However, if you're doing it on the clock in your patrol car.
Right. Like, something doesn't smell right.
No.
You know? So, after the locals get, like, sick of it, like, just tired of it, they end up, like, headlining this idea for a multi-agency task force to be created. So, like, this task force is made up of other sheriff's departments
they
in,
want
like, surrounding areas.
outside.
Right. State police and parts of the FBI. Do you know who the agency was overseen by and basically ran by?
The Deputy Danny guy?
No, the Jennings Police Department.
Oh, great.
So, like, him and all his buddies, basically.
His people he handpicked from all those places.
Right.
Okay.
So, more corruption. In 2009, Frankie Richard is... Y'all.
Can you not read your notes?
No. Okay, so in 2009, Frankie Richard is arrested for being part of, like, a rape crime.
Frankie, bruh.
Yeah. So it's like a rape crime and a robbery. They raid Frankie's home and find stolen money. They book it into evidence. A few days later, the money goes missing and Frankie's charges are dropped.
What?
Because, okay, I'm thinking Frankie called whoever his contact was up in the sheriff's department or the police department.
Evidence.
evidence
Who runs the
guy.
evidence
And said,
room?
hey, you can keep that stolen money. Unlock this door and let me walk out.
Exactly. So that guy that was fined 10 grand was found unethical and then gets promoted to head of evidence.
I feel like if that is your job, if your job is make sure nobody comes in this room and nothing from this room gets lost.
That's easy.
I could do that.
You're getting paid to watch a door.
It's simple Excel sheets.
It's inventory.
And that was his one job and he lets it go missing. Okay. Got
Exactly.
it. Clocked.
Yeah. So August 19th, 2009, 7 victims turned into 8. A maintenance crew doing some mowing along I-10 discovers another body in a neighboring parish, Acadia Parish, just 10 miles from Jennings. The victim is a Jennings local, 26-year-old Nicole Guillory. Cause of death was asphyxia. Doesn't say if it was homicide or not.
So, okay, they never had any kind of, which I guess if there's corruption, you wouldn't have this anyway, but there was never any DNA found on anybody. There was never any fingerprints.
Not really found because a lot of these people weren't found very quickly after they were disposed of. So you got to remember.
And a lot of them were nude or partly nude.
Yes. And like there was one of the victims, which I didn't put this in here. I wasn't going to say it, but like you could tell had been like eaten on a little bit by animals.
Yeah.
Like one of the victims like had no more face left.
So if there was anything, it's probably gone.
It's probably right.
Okay. That's frustrating.
Oy.
Yeah. So that victim is a Jennings local, 26-year-old Nicole Guillory. Cause of death, asphyxia. She ran in the same circles as the other ladies. And she told people the months leading up to her death that she was scared due to her connections and she could feel she was next.
Oh, no.
Oh my gosh.
Bless her heart.
Yeah.
See, that's why I get frustrated when I hear things about like people putting stigmas on people who are in quote like high risk circles, high risk jobs. Like
Yeah.
some people don't have a choice.
Exactly.
This lady couldn't get help from anybody.
Exactly.
And that's sad.
So around this time, a new suspect comes into play.
Okay.
His name is Terry Guillory.
Wait, isn't he one of the victims named Guillory?
Nicole.
How was he related to Nicole?
So,
Or is he?
yes.
Okay.
That's her cousin.
Okay.
So that's Nicole, victim number 8's cousin. His name's Terry. He also had connections with Loretta and Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
He is the warden at the jail in Jennings.
Okay.
And it was like rumored that he would like run the jail like it was a brothel.
Oh, gross,
Yeah.
bro.
Which, like, this is gross, but like if you're an adult,
right,
what you do
with your own money on your own time,
that's fine. But like, I looked it up, and which I felt stupid for having to look it up, because in my head I'm like, okay, a convict is an adult. But the way the law looks at a convict when it comes to like sex crimes is the same as it would look at like a 7-year-old. Like a convict cannot give consent to have sex with a guard.
Well, no.
Right. Like, even though they're, because in my stupid blonde
like
head,
even if you're like,
I'm like, oh, they're both
old,
adults.
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's in the confines of the jail.
Exactly. So, to this day, none of this has been solved. Nothing has happened. All the cases are still unsolved and opened. But a new sheriff was elected in 2024, and a big part of his like whole campaign was to like clean up Jennings, clean up everything, and solve the mystery of the Jeff Davis 8.
So nothing came of that Terry Guillory man?
No. Nothing.
Okay.
It's just, I added that in there because I was like, okay.
So it's all people who either work for some sort of legal capacity agency,
yes,
or they know somebody that did.
Correct. And like in the documentary is so cool. If you have not watched it,
what's it on?
It's on Discovery Plus. It's called Murder in the Bayou. Mm-hmm. It was really cool. It's I think it was shot by like some British filmmaker or something. But he was saying that like he would notice there was like a strict divide in Jennings, literally the north and the south side of the track. And he was like, when you went on the south side, there was this huge sense of community, but it was like the impoverished side of town. And they went one night just walking through the south side, just like asking random people, like, who do you think had anything to do with the Jeff Davis 8 or whatever? And all of them said if the police agencies did not kill the women,
they know who did
it. They know who did it, and they're refusing to do anything about it.
Allegedly, for entertainment purposes.
Exactly. So to this day, it all remains unsolved.
For entertainment purposes only.
Yes. Y'all.
Nicely done. Nice note.
That was a good one.
I was sweating.
What is your theory?
Bad handwriting.
What's your theory?
I think that, thank you. I think that Frankie Richard theory knew, R.I.P., I guess. I think he knew more information than he gave up. Mm-hmm. I think he knew who did it. But
if he didn't.
I don't know why. I just feel like he did not do it.
Or he was at least with them when it happened.
Something. And like the way he was talking about him, so he was really close to Kristen.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like he was really close to her. And he was talking about how the couple days before her body was found, she called him to see if she could stay with him. And he said no, because he was afraid one of her friends would steal some of his stuff. And like in the interview, he starts crying. And he was like, if I would have just told that baby, yeah, like she'd probably still be here.
But no one else got killed? It was just the 8? And
just
then
the
it was
8.
done?
Okay, question.
Like in 2009, it stopped.
When did he die?
2020, I think.
Okay, so it wasn't like he died and then they stopped?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I was
like
okay.
it had stopped. Like they have like semi-recent interviews from this guy. I say semi-recent. Like you can tell it's not footage from like 2005.
Sure.
So like.
That's interesting.
Let me see. Frankie Richard, death.
Well, how did he die? What was the
Is there a
manner?
lot of Frankie
March
Richard?
25th of 2020.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay,
So
according to his
almost
obituary, he died on March 22nd of 2020.
Okay. So.
Man, sorry. That was
good.
Was it?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I peripherally knew a lot about that because I've seen bits and pieces of that documentary. Like I've tried to watch it so many times and I just like fall asleep. And I've just never, not that it was boring. It's a Kati problem.
I loved it.
And living here, you hear about it.
Right.
And I even remember our grandma talking about it.
Yeah. I just like was like hyper fixated on it. So I my pen was smoking the entire time. And then like it ended and I was like, wait. and like had to back up and was like, that's it?
That's it? Yeah.
Like, it was just like, boop, it's unsolved. Good luck. And I was like, man.
Do you have faith in the new sheriff's department? Like, have they said they've made any like breakthroughs?
And like the family was coming at the last sheriff.
Yeah.
Like they would show up to like his public like news like interviews and stuff, and they would start screaming like, you haven't called us in over a year, and like blah blah blah. And I was like,
I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Well, that was interesting.
Thank you.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit.
Okay.
Do we have any announcements? I mean, this is going to come out in a couple of weeks, but anything else? Oh, you can get all of our merch plus these new Caleb is a Degenerate shirts at bigbadbootmerch.com. And yeah, please buy some merch. Help us keep going on this podcast. Download all the episodes. Tell a friend about it. Follow us on socials.
Yeah, leave us a review.
Leave us a review. Email us at thebigbadboot@gmail.com if you want to hear your email get read. We're working on getting all of the emails read on each episode. So we have a bit of a backlog. So if you don't hear yours, it's coming. There's a bit of a backlog.
Yes.
But we love you guys. Thank you so much, Caleb. Great job.
Thank you.
And remember, God made you.
And the Rougarou too.
So be kind to one another.
Bye.
Bye.
The Big Bad Boot is produced by Lettuce Media and edited by Mallory and Jonah.
Our music was produced by Macro Tracks. Our super cool logo was designed by AWC Graphics. And our sense of humor and childhood trauma was sponsored by Kelly and Abby Morse.